We get an Adam Schefter breaking news. A change in San Francisco. Steve Wilks is out as 49ers defensive coordinator.
So Belichick is in.
So there it is.
Not true.
So there it is. Steve Wilks is out as defensive coordinator. He went from in the booth to on the field. People thought they had figured it out. To at home, to in the booth, to on the field, to on the couch.
Yep.
A story of 3 segments here as Adam Schefter has just broken the news. That didn't take long because the media conference call started at 12. So they basically got connected, made sure everybody was on the call.
Say hi. Is everyone here? Yeah, Steve's gone.
Steve's gone. Steve's gone.
Questions?
Do you think this was a fair, and I hate to use the word fair in sports and in life for that matter, but do you think this was fair for Steve Wilks? Do you think he underperformed that poorly that they couldn't say, let's see? I get their timeline. I get all that. You really think he should have been canned after this season? Was he that bad?
I would say from the outside looking in, it seems a bit harsh. Yeah. But that's from the outside looking in. Like, I don't know if internally there was a lot of defensive players who were complaining about him. I mean, clearly Kyle had some issues with him. So, you know, if we're just talking performance based, you read it out. Like, they were the 3rd best defense in the NFL last year. I wouldn't say that their defense is completely the thing that looked most foreign in the playoffs. Like, their offense looked completely different in the playoffs as well. So you can't really single out the defense there. I mean, they turned over Patrick Mahomes. Like, they got a fumble in the Super Bowl. I just, you know, unless you really just, again, internally, I don't know what plays are being called. I'm not really a football savant in that level, so I can't tell you if Steve Wilks is just, you know, Nate broke down the cover 0 earlier. If it's things like that, I could definitely understand how Kyle Shanahan, who is a perfectionist, who does know a ton about defenses because of how much he knows about offenses, I could see how, you know, maybe that would be justification. But for the most part, I see it on the text line here. I think the word is scapegoat completely.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. You know, I'm reading through everything now and just getting the feeling of everybody. And
he was the new guy too. I mean, that's the new guy. It's kind of the easy one to point out.
Yeah, there are Niner fans that are excited about it. Let's go. I mean, he's not the reason they lost. Does anybody think 916-339-1140? Does anybody think that Steve Wilks is the reason the Niners lost the Super Bowl? Does he get the biggest slice of blame pie?
Where's the special teams coach?
Does he still have a job?
You know, apparently didn't yell Peter enough. Apparently you got guys like Ray McLeod thinking it's time to be playmaker instead of just jumping on the ball. Like,
I think Niner fans are delusional. I really do. I mean, I'm looking at these comments, good riddance, let's bleep and go, as if truly it was on. So what is it?
Like, they were the Sacramento Kings of football.
Is it bad luck? Is it Patrick Mahomes? Why did you lose? And
well, it can't. Why? How can you say, oh, you know, that's Patrick Mahomes. He's great. Like, he's going to do that to anybody. It doesn't matter what court. And then at the same time say, but this is Steve Wilks' fault. Like, it's either Patrick Mahomes does this to everybody. I don't know.
I'm seeing here in a response to Tim Kawakami, somebody responded to Tim Kawakami. Was this Nick Bosa? Nick Bosa did not seem to be thrilled. I think he brought up something during the playoffs or late in the season. Was it just Nick? We're paying Nick Bosa a lot of money.
Sure.
He doesn't like what Steve Wilks is doing. You know, maybe there was a bit of a, I hate to say age gap, but it's possible. Or maybe maybe it wasn't a good culture fit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
They got him out of there.
So the question is now, if you're making this seemingly rushed move, I mean, called an emergency press conference, do they have somebody ready to go? Like, do we think that this was done with the intention of, hey, we have a name or two in mind that we really want for that spot? Or is this something that they just felt like this part has to get done and we'll find somebody else who will do it, but anybody else would be better than the situation that we had?
John Lynch. He steps down from the booth.
That would
goes
be
to the sideline.
Matt Barrows.
He's like, I want some credit.
Matt Barrows says that Kyle Shanahan has stated the Niners will look both inside and outside the building for Wilks' replacement. Could it be somebody in the building
Nate,
already?
any ideas there? Internal?
Internally, no. I don't have any
Okay.
anything on that. I think it's
Well, I
going
guess
to be
that's interesting. Right. Sorry to cut you off, but I guess if they would have had somebody internal in mind, why not? Why wouldn't they have just brought them in last season?
So this is
or they would have been like, Wilks out, this guy's in.
Right.
Yeah. Right now.
And this
like they
is
did with Belichick.
This is from Matt Mayoko, just adding some more context. Kyle Shanahan said he will look inside the building as well as outside the organization to bring in a coordinator who has more of a background in the system the 49ers have run since 2017.
What if Salah's a lot of people are anti-Saleh as a head coach.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a little reunion, but that's not happening.
He needs a hold me back guy.
Yeah.
He's not going to get canned now. It's way too late.
No, not now.
Yeah.
Not now. There you go. Wilks was hired a year ago to replace D'Amico Ryans, who became head coach of the Texans. Obviously, just going through everything. If you're just now tuning in, Steve Wilks is out as defensive coordinator. Doesn't really matter what he did throughout the season or what they did in spite of him. Depends on who you ask. It seems like it wasn't a culture fit. It seems like it wasn't a system fit. And to that point, Chris, we can get somebody on tomorrow or maybe even today. I know we have the Kings Roundtable as well. How this all kind of went down. Why would you bring somebody in who's not familiar with the system? How many people are familiar with the system that you're running? I'll just go back to my first question. Why would you bring in somebody that's not familiar with the system? And now you're going to look for somebody who knows the system. Yeah, we will definitely get somebody on tomorrow at latest to discuss this, because it seems like a weird decision from get-go if you are that quick to move off of him.
Yeah, I'm trying to read here. And yeah, somebody did mention as well the Nick Bosa comments from the other day. Nick Bosa said that the 49ers weren't prepared for the read option the Chiefs used on that game-winning drive.
I saw that.
And also mentioning that Kyle Shanahan called the timeout in overtime because of that cover zero call. It's really interesting. And here our guy David Lombardi out here saying Steve Wilks, who has a DB coaching background, was brought in to advance their secondary. However, they struggled on the back end with their pass rush this season. And Shanahan, quote, said it was harder than it needed to be.
The defensive season.
Yes. Quote, it was harder than it needed to be.
Wow. They couldn't stand
that
him.
Is crazy. That's pretty damning comments right there.